Hi everybody, welcome to Digimon Conflict, where we watch through the OG Digimon Adventure series and give our honest opinions on everything episode to episode, from either a experienced watcher's pinpoint or a new watcher's pinpoint. Viewpoint? Pinpoint? What? I'm keeping it in, I don't fucking care. I'm Cyan. With me today, I have Keja,
Hi.
Kain,
Uh,
and Zeta.
Hello, everybody.
At least one of us has a normal response.
Look, I've been in lethal
Normal?
company for
What
the
do you
past
mean?
3 hours. I don't know if that's a normal response, mate.
This week we watched episodes 26 to 30, which is right in the throes of the Myotismon arc. A lot happened to make up for a lot of episodes where a lot did not happen. So, let's start with the worst episode, which is the one we start off. Episode 26, Sora's Crest of Love. This episode is when the crew that has been separated and looking for each other finally finds Sora to find her very brilliant reason of why she disappeared in the first place and why she's been playing Ninja Sora and hiding from everybody. Yeah, it was a wonderful reason. I hate it so
what
much.
an episode, am I right?
Yeah.
I can't believe one, how dumb her reason, like all of that shit was, first of all. But second of all, I can't believe that it took like Agumon or anybody this long to be like, oh hey, by the way, I think I thought I heard Sora speaking to us while you were doing this thing. And it's like, you didn't say anything?
Oh my god.
What is everybody doing? Come on.
This whole episode was a lot of questionable decisions because my first actual note on this is like, yes, trust the bat that's obviously been bad and that you say you don't trust because you saw him talking to the bad guy and you also saw him sabotaging all your friends and lying to them, but he wasn't lying to you. It was all true. Your mother who loves you doesn't love you.
Oh my god. That whole sequence was ridiculous.
I always trust Demi Devimon.
But we
He's just a
do
cute
get
little
to
guy.
see the best enemy Digimon design.
Myotismon is sick.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
Until he takes his cape away from his mouth.
He has such a dramatic entrance as well. He's just, I'm gonna drop from my carriage flying in the air and just land pinpoint like a freaking screw.
This
I
motherfucker's got so much lipstick.
I had a note being like, damn, Myotismon kinda, and then he took his cape away and I was like, never mind.
Hey,
Like,
Forget it.
He kind of sexy. Aww.
Literally. I was so disappointed.
You want me to make it worse for you? He has the same voice actor as Edamon.
I hate it here.
Yeah, in the middle of quotes, you just go, oh.
Yep. Yeah, as far as like the whole mom sequence it goes, of course we have Sora has a flashback of a time she got injured on her from a soccer game, and her mom's like, no, you can't play soccer, you're gonna hurt yourself more, you have to take care. And she's like, you don't understand, you don't love me, I'm too edgy for this, blah blah blah. Like, in that entire
emo girl arc.
Oh my god. She's just like, mommy doesn't love me, she's afraid I'm gonna get hurt, how dare she.
It's not a phase, Mom. Come on.
Oh my god. So
just let me go play soccer. I want to break my other knee.
Oh my god. And like, the only real translation problem I had in this, because I did watch the Japanese versions for all these episodes, because I knew I was gonna have to, at least for these, is that there is slight more mention, and I ended up Googling into this a little bit because some of the terminology for the sub didn't fit. So her mom works in a flower shop. traditional Japanese flower alterations or whatever, and
Mhm.
Sora is supposed to inherit that business or whatever. Her being injured and not being able to sit down properly, that is apparently the proper sitting posture you have to do while you're doing the flower arrangements. So when her mom makes her sit down, it's kind of her telling her, like, you can't even sit properly. And if you injure yourself more, you're not going to be able to, like, do this career or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And, you know. So, but the whole thing of, like, I don't want you to get hurt again is still there. It's like, so the only change is, like, they did bring in a bit more of, like, you need to take over the family business. But first and foremost, I don't want to see my daughter hurt. Mama doesn't love me.
She
You wouldn't
wants
let
me
me
to
do what I
inherit the family
wanted.
business. How dare!
Yeah. I cannot stress enough how much I hate Sora.
I just loved at the beginning of the episode, like Ty just being absolutely savage to Sora
Oh my god.
for like 5 straight minutes.
Deserved, honestly. Oh, speaking of that, this was a thing that was translated out, which I don't know if there's any intention behind it, because it also could just be like a mistranslation in the subtitle. But at the end of the episode, you know, after they're talking about, like, oh, I could feel your love, blah, 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 you know, being all corny when they're just talking around.
Why?
So, they're all sitting by the beach or whatever. I think they were by a beach. And Ty just blatantly says out, I want your love too. Just straight to Sora. And then Joe makes like a comment about it. And that's why Mimi, like, oh, you can have some of my love. And then he looks at Mimi, and Mimi just hands him the seeds. Here's my love.
Oh.
So that's how that scene actually happened.
Okay.
Yeah. But
because I was going to say that's completely different in the dub.
Yeah.
I can feel your love, Sora.
I think I felt your love too, Mimi. No, I think this is what you were feeling. It's not love.
But Ty just
Yeah, you
straight
just
up
want-
confesses to her right there on the spot, and just gets brushed off.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, that's definitely not going to be a running thing.
Nope, definitely not. Not even a little
Not
bit.
at all.
Never gonna come up again.
Mm-mm.
Another note, and this isn't necessarily for this episode, but it does kind of, like, I guess, come into this because Sora brings up that she knows all the names of the crest, because she overheard, you know, the bad bat talking to the vampire. It didn't clue her in that he might be lying to her. So we know 2 of the crest names got changed in the dub. One of them is Mimi's, which was originally Innocence, but it's changed to Purity. I think they only did that just because the wording fits better in English, and as far as like how we perceive the word innocence versus purity. For reliability, the actual kanji, or the actual terminology that's used in Japanese for Joe's crest, does not have an English counterpart. So it is translated 3 different ways, depending on what medium you're in. And this anime, of course, is done as reliability, but there are toys that have come out with it being translated as honesty, and there's a manga where it's translated as faith. So, but all of them are kind of very close to what the original meaning for the original crest was. It's just not quite reliable Joe. It's just more of like faithful Joe, which is kind of funny considering he's the one that just kind of doesn't have faith in anything half the time.
But it fits with that weird prayer thing he was doing.
True, actually.
With the Bakemon thing.
Yeah, oh my god.
Bakuman, lose your power.
Bakemon, lose your power.
Oh my god.
I hate it.
That chant is still stuck in my fucking head.
Oh man, when the Bakemon show up again, I think it's like next episode when he shows up again or something. And I was just like,
oh boy.
My brain was just like, oh god, I just hear it in my head. I hate it. Any more notes on the worst episode out of the set? Or
Ooh, that's my note.
fair.
Garudamon.
I like Arudamon's design.
I
I
do not.
think it's really cool. It's
The
just
voice
like,
is off-putting.
yeah, the voice is really weird. Like, at least with is it Togemon? At least Togemon's one is like, I don't know.
An Osprey.
It's not that off-putting. I heard
Mhm.
Garudamon's voice and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Alright. Next episode, episode 27, The Gateway to Home. This episode we see again Genai. Genai or Genai? I forget how it's pronounced in this one because it's pronounced multiple
I
ways.
forget too.
Every time I hear it,
I think it's
Jenna.
Jenna. Yeah.
Okay. So we get reintroduced to him. He shows up. They're talking about the gate that Myotismon is going to use to get to the human world. He tells them about the 8th child. Agumon and Palmon go undercover to work in Myotismon's army, and meet one of the questionable designs of Digimon ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like looking up, I was like, why does my note say what the fuck is Nanamon?
So
Because
I was
he's
like, what
just
is
a
Nanamon?
face with arms and legs.
So here's the funny thing about that. It's Nanimon. You know what Nani means.
The fuck?
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He is literally a what is this mon?
Oh my god, I didn't
we
even think about that.
We also need to take note that this is the first time we get alternate Digimon.
Oh my god, yeah, actually, yeah.
What the
Reggae Palmon and
Oh
then
yeah.
Afro Agumon?
Yeah. So
Oh.
Keja's less familiar with this, but there are some times where, and it's generally used for like the card game or something. Like I think Terriermon has what, Professor Terriermon or something.
Yeah,
Agumon
it's
also has
adorable.
Professor.
But it's just Terriermon in a lab coat.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's an alternate variation of Terriermon, but it's still Terriermon. He's just wearing a lab coat. So like this is just Agumon in an afro and Palmon with dreads. So.
Or you get
Have fun
things
adding
where it's
that
like
to the edit.
you get things like Gabumon with Psychmon, and it's like the same thing, but it's a different color. And it's like, why? What are we
Looks
doing
at
here?
Gatsumon's line.
I mean, those are at least like they're different typings, right? Because
Oh shit, are they?
yeah,
yeah, because
Psychmon's a
Psychmon,
virus,
I
right?
believe, is a virus.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Which we learned about those in these episodes too, finally.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. That was interesting. Sorry, I had a
Mhm.
quick question before you continue.
Oh.
In terms of the alternate them dressing up, they mentioned that their Digimon names were like, I don't know, I don't remember what it was, but something else. Do Digimon
Yeah.
not just know the names of other, like, all the other Digimon? Can they not just tell that they're lying?
Nope.
No.
Because usually, like, when they see another Digimon, they're like, oh, that's such and such.
Yeah.
I would
So-
assume...
You've seen personally just how stupid some of the Digimon are. Looks at the Numamon and Sukamon line.
It's also
And
a lot
Nanimon
of...
didn't seem very bright either.
Some of this is also dubisms when it's like you have the Digimon narrating what Digimon this is. They're using the Digimon voices for it, but in the subtitle, they have a narrator that does that. So when Tinkamon's explaining like, oh, this is Andromon, when they pull up the data screen and they're going like, oh, he's a certain type, he's a perfect level Digimon, blah, blah, blah. Or they said a fully evolved Digimon. That's done by the narrator, not by the Digimon in the original. So while they will recognize
so that's not
some,
knowledge they...
Yeah, they won't recognize all of them. So
Gotcha.
yeah, it's a dubism. Granted, this episode I do have in question marks Bunnymon because Nanimon tells them to hop like a Bunnymon. Bunnymon doesn't exist, but I kind of want it to.
Oh,
But we find out later that could be Lopmon.
Yeah, but there's also Cutemon. Cutemon is also a bunny. So.
And there's
whatever,
what was the one in Pokemon Dusk? Yeah, that one.
Pokemon Dust.
Lunamon?
Oh.
Yeah, Lunarmon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The Moon Rabbit.
Yeah.
I actually really dig that thing's design.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Lunamon's cute.
It's coming to the TCG soon.
Nice. Translation, or at least Japanese wise on this one. This is the episode where they debut a new, I think, ending and opening for Digimon. And it in the Japanese it contains major spoilers.
Oh
Oh.
shit.
Oh yeah, it does. I remember that.
Yeah, the English still kind of has slight spoilers, but not near as bad as the Japanese does. I watched it, I was like, God damn, all right, y'all just covered all that. Gotcha. Understood.
Wait, new opening?
Yeah, there's a new opening and ending in the Japanese. Mostly
Oh,
the ending.
just in the Japanese. Gotcha.
Yeah, the ending is the
Yeah.
one that has the most spoilers. Which we don't really have the ending in the one we're
Yeah.
watching.
We
'cause
don't
we're-
get those.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
get Digimon, digital monsters, and we get Hey Digimon sometimes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, the DVD copy I have does have the NED on it, but we're watching
Oh.
when we're watching together. We're watching on Hulu and it has the straight from TV cut, so
Mm-hmm.
it has the Saban logo at the end with all the children.
Yeah.
And the gold. Whatever circle thingy. Also censoring. Nanimon gets drunk off of soda. Lots and
Yup.
lots of soda.
That's not soda in the sub.
That's definitely not soda in the sub. The bubbles just go
Do
to
they
his
just say
head.
it's sake?
It is just sake, yeah.
Yeah.
They like the sub even has the labels on it that clearly say what it is. They just edited it out. So.
Oh my god.
Like this is at least a edit I can see. Like I can understand why they don't want a character in a child's cartoon drinking liquor. But why poop? Why do they keep censoring poop? I don't understand.
I don't know.
We also
A
I will
child
say
knows what
Nanimon's
poop is
probably one of the
anyway.
best drill instructors.
Gosh. We also get our first appearance of Gatomon in this episode. So
That's a
Yeah.
cat.
he's a cat. Very sassy at the beginning. I forgot how like sassy she is when she first appears.
Me
She's just, like,
too.
so cool.
Just
That's
it's
all.
slapping Devimon at every chance she gets.
I love that dynamic. It's so great to have the henchmen of just like the obviously superior officer and then just the lackey that tried to offer a pile of shit to a fucking
Oh,
monster.
It's
Veimon.
exactly like fucking Grinder and the other robot in fucking the Sonic anime or animated stuff.
You said Grinder and I thought
Oh,
you were about to go a
yeah.
completely different direction.
Oh, no, like no, it's not Grinder. His name was Grounder. That's right, Grounder, and I forget the fucking rooster's name.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what
Those
does
two are
Grinder have to do with
constantly
Demi
at each
Devimon?
other's.
Even Kain is like, what do you want about it? Kain's Nesbitt to Sonic.
I was trying to think of which characters. I know what you guys were thinking. My brain didn't go there. What?
No,
Yeah, my brain for once is clean. Excuse you.
I was thinking about Sonic.
Yeah, like fucking Grounder. Now I'm gonna look it up because I'm gonna forget.
That's not my fault. He said Grinder, and I'm like,
Scratch.
that's so very different.
okay.
How'd you get from Scratch to Grinder?
No, Grounder was the other one.
Grounder.
Grounder.
Yeah. Grounder and Scratch.
I'm putting in a Digimon Conflict. These two have Gatomon and Devimon's energy at all times.
Oh, I remember them from the little puzzle game I had.
Yeah. I think they were on Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine game too.
Yeah.
That's the one where you drop the little beans and match the colors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gatomon and Devimon constantly fight like these two idiots.
Oh boy. So I think the rest of this episode is they get back with visits. They get back with Genai, and he's like, "Hey, come to my house." And everyone's like shocked that they're actually going to meet him in person now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I have for this episode, unless y'all have more.
This was 27, right?
Yeah, 27.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't Gatomon and Myotismon make it through the gate that they're trying to get through in this episode too?
Yes.
Yes and
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, right.
Because Gatomon just takes the time to just bitch slap the living shit out of all the champion level
yeah.
Digimon.
Yeah, they
Oh
do have to fight
yeah.
in this one.
Yeah.
Like, this tiny cat just beat the shit out of all of your gigantic Digimon. How does that make you feel?
It's also, I think, the only time we've seen the use of her tail ring.
No, we see it in another
Yeah.
episode too.
Oh shit.
Really?
Yeah. So this is
I know what it did in that episode.
yeah. So the tail ring, I don't think it ever gets explained in Digimon Adventures, but there are certain Digimon that have like holy rings or holy objects on them that aren't necessarily part of them. So like all Gatomons essentially have the tail ring when you see them in the design, but it's technically not
It's
in her
technically
evolution.
an individual thing.
Yeah, there's other Digimon that'll have similar like holy objects with them, and it gives them more power. But what that power is, very inconsistent. In this case, she can summon the Vidramon from statues inside the walls. So
She has anti-petrification magic.
yeah, but yeah, the tail ring can come off. The tail ring is not like part of her actual body.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a holy object because she is technically a holy Digimon, just working for the evil side.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
That was another funny thing too. Ty and fucking Sora were playing the most dangerous game of red light, green light.
oh my god, yeah. Also remember, Gatomon or Tailmon in the Japanese is an adult level Digimon, so she is the same level as Greymon and Togemon and all those. She's just tiny.
Mm-hmm.
She
just
a little
small.
bean.
Yeah,
She
I
can
love
Very
her.
slap your
small.
Digimon.
In
I love her
her
so much.
in her ex antibody form, the tail ring it's huge. It like goes around her neck.
yeah, it's a fucking hula hoop.
This little thing.
Mhm.
Out of all the X antibodies, I feel like that one's a downgrade compared to the original.
You can't really improve on her design. She's too
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I like how she is.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at that one, then comparing it to the original one, like that was an actual downgrade, which was
Yeah.
It's one of the very few X antibodies that does a reverse for the design.
It was about to happen. But yeah, so like they all do the fight. I don't know why I was thinking the fight's the next one. I think I was thinking the fight is next episode because that's the episode I have like I start having an entire page worth of
A lot of notes.
Notes.
Jesus.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, they had the whole fight, and then Myotismon and everyone, and a bunch of shadow Digimon that have not been named or shown walk through the gate with him.
Don't worry, they don't have much screen time.
Some of them do. I saw some recognizable shadows in there.
Yeah.
I saw a very important one in there. But I can't. Actually, I saw 3 really important ones in there. So.
I'm trying to remember all the ones. I know 2 of them are iconic looking. The rest of them are kind of eh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good.
I just saw blobs.
Whenever
well, one of them looked similar to a Digimon we'd already seen, but I don't think it was.
Which one?
Well, it looked like one of them from the shadows on the wall was the fireman from the thingy village, but
Hey.
What if I told you that was his evolution?
Oh, it has an evolution?
It has an evolution.
Yeah.
Oh,
Keja, there's
let's go!
evolutions upon evolutions in this
yeah.
series.
Everything has
It
an
doesn't stop at
evolution.
3. It
Mhm.
stops at like 18.
Oh my god.
But the one of them is indeed Maramon's evolution.
It's so cool.
Yeah, you'll see him eventually.
I thought I was just like imagining things after we had seen like a few of them in the actual human world. I was like,
Mhm.
did I just not see that correctly?
Yep, you saw it correctly. You'll know it when you
Yeah.
see it too, so it'll be great. They're just in
Those were
disguise.
just my notes.
Anything else
Those the
for
last
y'all?
bits.
There was
Yeah.
one just stupid thing.
Mhm.
You know how they beat up Nanimon like really quickly?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I heard something and I don't know if it was actually a line that was said, but I had a note that was like, did he just say he was getting his fanny kicked?
It might have. This was
Yes.
early 2000s to 90s. That is very possible.
Which
I
is
didn't-
hilarious because it didn't look like he had a fanny to begin with.
No.
Yeah.
I
He looks like
just
if Pac-Man was just a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
It was just like, why is that even a line in a kid's show? Hello?
And I can't wait to put Nanimon in the middle of the thumbnail for this episode.
Oh, no.
It's so cursed.
Nar,
It really is
please.
just like it's Pac-Man's drunk uncle. Just
That is Pac-Man. Like, no
Pac-Man,
ifs, ands, or
Gecko-Man.
buts.
oh my god. Man. Alright.
Not like this.
Episode 28. It's all in the cards. This episode, the kids go to Genai's house, that is under the water, after parting the sea to get there. He does not
He's
tell them about the
Moses.
cards that he said he was gonna do, but he does give them a lot of information. And they make their way back to the castle to figure out the mysteries of the cards, which I don't think we actually mentioned in the last episode. My Otismon used 9 cards to get the gate open. So the kids have to figure out how to use those 9 cards to get the gate open again. But they have 10 cards instead of 9. So a lot happens this episode. A lot of information gets dumped in this episode. And
Yeah.
we learn that Genai is just an old dude that just wants to eat and chill and doesn't like people.
And is very sarcastic.
Relatable,
weird.
honestly.
Oh, we also learned that he's the same as Digimon, except he's not cool. He can't evolve and he can't learn attacks.
So in the subtitle that was like explained a little bit better, he says he is neither Digimon nor human. He is more human-like in nature, but he does not have a physical body there like the kids do. So he's just like
He's just
Zeta.
code.
Yeah, he's just code.
Yeah.
But he's not
He's an
a Digimon.
AI.
He's something, that's for sure. But him and Izzy have a nice little heart-to-heart where he explains the Digimon typings of virus, vaccine, and data, which is the biggest consistency throughout all of Digimon of just having the rock, paper, scissors system. My god.
Rock, paper, sisters.
Right.
That's a different kind of sisters, man.
Listen.
My question is, where this motherfucker get these cards?
No idea.
Yeah,
Like my
we're getting-
Otismon had the first set, and then it's like, hey, I got a set too. It's like, where the fuck did you get these?
Can I buy these on TCG Player?
Right. So you could actually get these cards at one point. Because I have 3
Shit.
of them. I don't know how
shit.
I have them, but I have 3 of them. Because I used to collect a lot of trading cards, not just like Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh. But I remember one year I'd gotten like it's one of those empty candy canes that would have it had trading card packs in it. Normally they would be filled with candy, but this one was filled with like trading card packs. And I got everything
Yeah.
from Star Trek, Star Wars, Garbage Pail Kids. I had Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I had Magic the Gathering cards, and there were Digimon cards in there. And the Digimon cards I have aren't from that pack, aren't from the TCG that existed at the time. The bad one that nobody played.
Yeah.
But they are like collector cards that are just like scenes from the Digimon show. I'll try and find them so I can get pictures of them because they should be
Hell
printed
yeah.
somewhere. But yeah, I think I have 3 because I have Gomamon, Ogremon, and I don't remember what the third one was.
Oh, found it.
Hmm.
Cardass Digimon Adventure Selection Box 2020. Holy shit, $630.
Whoa.
Be right back selling my cards.
Oh my
Um,
god.
So apparently there's a special Digimon Adventure collector box that had a full set of those.
Okay.
It's expensive as all fuck right now.
Bruh.
Probably because it's premium Bandai.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Fuck.
Because you piqued my interest, so I started looking at them, and then I see these popping up in all my thing.
Yeah, I was like, I know for sure you can get all of them. Like, I know I only have 3. I don't know why I only have 3. Because I was like 11 or 12 when I got this. So,
Mhm.
Let's see.
no idea.
Oh,
here we go.
hey.
As the TCG nerds are now
Yeah.
finding a new possible money soak.
That's pretty cool.
I'm
Yeah,
just trying to figure out what they came from originally, besides P Bandai. Because
Digimon
yeah.
Cardass Digimon Adventure Selection Box. For
Yeah,
old
it's
school
still-
collectors contains yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
only
wonder what
saying
the
it's from the
hell?
2020 box, so you must have somehow
Yeah.
found one of those boxes.
Maybe. I don't think it had any boxes in because I know for sure it came out of the candy cane. But
Didn't you say
Mhm.
you were like 11?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is
definitely
like a
not 2020.
reprint or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
this has
No.
a
They
bunch of
had
other
to
shit
have.
with it too.
You're right.
Yeah. That's weird. I guess maybe they did them a long time
Interesting.
ago and then re-released them in 2020.
I have no
On
idea.
Card Journey, it's $259
Jesus
Christ.
instead of $600.
All right, then. Well, Cyan, if you ever need money for fucking computer parts, there you go.
Bruh, I need money to move the fuck out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So I have a decent amount of notes for this episode, and a lot of my notes from watching the dub episode got like I had questions that got answered from watching the sub. So, one, I made a little joke about Mega Kabuterimon evolving and then not being able to get through the door.
I also made a note about him not getting the music, but someone else got funny music later.
So the funny thing is, you remember how like the entire castle's collapsing after a certain point?
Yeah.
That's because Mega Kabuterimon destroyed it. It's not because of like some security system like they blame in the dub.
Oh.
It's actually because he
it's
wrecked
just
shop.
too big.
Oh.
Um,
He's just a fat ass.
yeah.
That's my Kabuterimon right there.
I also have Murderous Genai because he just fucking tries to strangle Joe.
He tried to strangle Tai.
Oh, was
He tried to
Tai?
strangle Tai.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to fucking shit post the goddamn cards on the table.
Oh my
It's like,
God.
you idiot, you'll go anywhere.
Something that was left out is all the fish aren't actually fish. Genai says he feeds them salt, extra salty fries or something.
Yeah.
But they're actually robots that he created because he was lonely.
Oh.
Let's see. I have a note in here from the dub. This was something that was changed. Where Genai's seeing them off and he tells them like, remember you're the Digidestined, and then Joe like collapses on the ground and Sora kind of snaps at him. In the sub, Genai says, have faith in your abilities, and Joe collapses as being like insecure, and Sora snaps at him for being insecure.
Oh.
Oh no.
Q1 for
Good
Sora
job,
being
Sora.
a bitch. There's also a line that's changed, and this is fucking Mimi slander, because there's a point after that where Sora is like encouraging Joe to like do his best after that. It's Mimi that does it in the subtitle, not Sora.
Hmm.
There was a point during the big final battle while they're figuring out the card situation where Mimi kind of starts like crying and then she's also happily cheery again. I think we all kind of made a comment about that, where she's just like downcast and then she just pops up and she's like, "Oh, good now." That line was like, it wasn't her whining, it was her. She was saying, "I've just been whining this entire time, but that's not how this works." So like her having downcast is her saying like, I just keep saying I want to go home and keep whining all this time, and then she looks up and she goes, "That's not how this works though." So it's like they destroy Mimi's character so hard in the dub. I have two notes that go together. One, Gomamon goes into the water when they enter Genai's place, and then all the water kind of disappears, and like it goes Moses. And I just put as a joke, Gomamon is Moses.
Yeah.
But at the end of the episode, the reason, like, well, I don't know if it's the reason Tai chose the card because it doesn't state it in the subtitle, but I googled it. Gome is apparently a pun for open. And what Tai ends up saying when he flips over Gomamon's card and puts it on the block to open the door is "Open Sesame," but it's because Gome is a pun on "Open Sesame." So like we went from him being Moses to
That's so much better than the reason that they give in the dub, though.
I know.
Where Ty's like, "Oh, I just kept your card because I like you."
You're my
What?
friend, and I thought it'd be cool to have your card.
Yeah. And my last note, regarding like changes, is Izzy mentions like when they're talking about like, oh, how to read the panel and stuff, because there's the zodiac signs at the top and those stars and stuff. And he's like, this looks like some occult stuff. If I had internet, I could talk to my friends about occult stuff online, which I thought was kind of a nod to the fact that Izzy just talks to a bunch of people online, which is very much mentioned in the second movie that we'll end up watching. Where he just talks to so many people online. Like this man just like, he's a 4chaner. There's no
He's a fucking Redditor, I knew it.
But yeah, I think that's all my translation notes, but it's like it's just a fucking page of like translations, paragraphs of like, this is what it said and this is what was said in the sub. So I end up having to go back and look at shit. But yeah, so they do get through the gate after getting attacked by Dokugamon.
Yeah, they fought a spider. That's crazy.
I love that
I hated it.
Dokugamon's like lights on his head just like blink in random patterns. Anything else on this episode?
I like cards.
Episode 29, Return to Heightened View Terrace. The kids wake up back where they disappeared in the middle of the snowbank on their camp. They find that their camp is being packed up to go back home. And they kind of bamboozle their camp counselor into letting them not go home and go be dropped off in a random city.
I like their teacher.
Learn that Tai sucks at lying.
Who could have guessed he sucked at things?
Yeah. Freaking Matt and TK are playing up the divorce to try and get
It was so funny.
This is also okay. We learn about the maybe the potential reasoning for why they were chosen as the Digidestined, because when they get back to Heightened View Terrace, which is not Heightened View Terrace obviously in the Japanese, the district they're going to, forgive me if I mispronounce this because I do not speak Japanese fluently. Hikari Goka or Gaoka. I don't know.
Oka?
Hikari Gaoka.
I'm
Maybe.
looking at it.
It's
I'm
l-
looking at it too.
It's spaced, so I don't know if I do the space or not. But
Mhm.
that's where they're going. Of course, they're not going to put that in a kids' cartoon in the 2000s, so they translated it to
Oh,
Heighten
yeah.
View Terrace.
What the fuck did those kids say? They were speaking English a minute ago.
Right. Uh, but
Same reason they changed the names of the kids.
when they return to Heighten View Terrace, they run into Mammothmon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mammon?
It's Mammon in the
Man.
Japanese.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's Mammothmon
So
in the
weird.
yeah. I think they just wanted to make it more obvious that it was supposed to be a mammoth in English. I don't know why they changed it. But the kids start having flashbacks to a terrorist attack that may have been the reason why they all ended up being moved out of that area not long afterwards, which is why they all didn't live there for very long. And all of them had witnessed the attack, which the terrorist attack was actually two Digimon fighting that destroyed half of the city. So they put together the fact that they all saw this, which might be the reason why they were chosen as Digidestin, which is what they used to try and find the 8th Digidestin.
Look, I'm just gonna say it. I call bullshit at people acting normal while that thing's stampeding around the fucking place.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
People are like,
they
oh, they're
must be
probably just
recording
filming
a movie.
Yeah, oh my god, they're insane.
They've seen too many Godzilla movies. It's fine.
I'm calling the cops in a situation like that. What the
For
hell?
real.
Oh no, my phone's dead. Oh no, I guess I'll just die.
Oh my god. So I'll bring this up now because I know it's gonna come up more in the next episode for you, Zay, because Zeta watched the last bits of this episode and 30 on his own, and you'd said you'd had some issues with the dubbing.
Yeah.
So after 9/11, they re-edited these episodes for re-airing to not include the terminology terrorist bombing.
Oh, that's so valid though.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did this air after that?
No, the re-airing of it.
They edited it.
So the
The
original
re-airing.
exists.
Re-airing. Okay.
Oh,
That's-
so did they not refer to it as a terrorist bombing when you watched it, Zeta?
They just cut it out. I
No.
think. Yeah, they
You know
cut
what
out
they
every
did?
they cut out every part where they mention it.
This is exactly what happened. Okay, they're talking to Izzy about like why he decided to move out after 6 months of being in Heightened View. And Joe's like, "Oh, I know why." And then as soon as he's starting to explain, there's like freakishly weird volume levels of disparity to different voice lines he said throughout the series.
Yep.
And they
Oh.
also do this to Tai and I believe Sora.
Yep. Those are all the characters that mention the terrorist attack and during that conversation. Because Joe is the one, I know what happened. It was because of the terrorist attack. Did y'all not remember seeing that? And then I think Sora chimes in and is like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that on like the
Terrorist
news.
bombing specifically.
Yeah. And
I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck am I watching? Is this like on all the dubs? So I switched to different like hosts and everything. It's like it's every single one. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, man.
It's so funny because that makes me wonder where they got it from, because the original airing of it, of course, had the original audio. But then when they started re-airing the episodes, it was after 9/11, and then they cut all of it out. But when they did the DVD releases, it's back in it because my DVD releases also have it as well, and I don't remember any other mention of like other DVD releases having it cut. It was just during the TV airing. So how the fuck did they get this like 1, maybe 2-time TV airing cut audio to put on whatever website you're watching it on?
Yeah.
But it was when you mentioned that it was just
just-
like Joe being talked over. I'm like, oh, I know exactly what that is.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
if
so
it was
weird.
like somebody artificially dubbing it to make a new sentence or something, I'd be
Mhm.
fine with that.
Yeah.
And specifically that they're reusing voice lines from previous episodes at different volume levels, and I'm sitting here like, am I fucking high?
What
How
is
much water
going
did I
on?
take?
Yeah, no. Welcome to how they tried to skirt around sensitive topics after 9/11.
And I thought Yu-Gi-Oh's dubbing was shit when they tried to censor crap.
Right. um. Oh, we skipped over a very awkward encounter that I'm sure Keja loved because she voiced it while
The
we were
tickle
watching.
fights?
The tickle attack.
I was gonna say the teacher tickling the children.
I hate
That
this
was
teacher
so
for that alone.
weird.
So
That was really weird.
it's
You are a
slightly
grown man. You do not tickle children, okay?
it is slightly better in the subtitle, and I will only say slightly because initially Ty in the dub says, "I bet if he was a Digimon, he would use something like homework attack or something." But what he
Yeah.
says is like his main attack would be tickle attack, and then his teacher comes up, "You mean this tickle attack?" And then he does it. So
I hate it. I hate it. I
it's
fucking
still
hate it.
awkward. It's still awkward.
It's so uncomfy.
But
Mhm.
it's not
Nar.
as like out of left field
Out of
where
nowhere.
it's
Yeah.
like, oh, my
Yeah.
attack would be tickle attack. Why would I give you homework? Like, no, Ty actually does mention that he would tickle them, and he does it, and it's weird. But
It's so gross and weird.
It's
Like I
really
understand it's a
weird.
different culture, but like
I don't care if it's a different
Ugh.
culture. If you are any man in any fucking country and you're tickling small children without their consent, you are a weird motherfucker and need to be punched very hard in the face.
oh my god.
You weird motherfucker, just bop them on the head, give them a noogie. Anything besides tickling, you sick fuck.
Oh my god. So yeah, they have the big fight with Mammothmon. Garudamon is fighting the mammoth, and the kids are all having the flashbacks and remembering, which what they're remembering is obviously the pilot episode, which is the first part of the movie that we will eventually watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we get little flashbacks of it a little bit. So we get to see baby Ty and Kari, I believe, in the little flashback.
In the little like armadillo mon
Baby-
onesie.
baby TK.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we also said baby TK because poor TK was trying to tell his mom he saw a giant bird, and his mom's just like, "That's nice, honey."
Mama, I saw a monster. It's like monsters
Stop
aren't
lying,
real.
TK. And I was like,
Um,
oh.
Poor
I
TK.
also
He
want to
just
point
wanted
out
Mama to believe.
a little bit on this one of so TK is the only one I think that still lives in this area ish, or at
Mhm.
least closer to, because he lives with his mom and Matt lives
Yeah.
with their dad. Of course we're not from Japan, so we don't really know the areas that well. Where they are currently at versus where they live, which is why their teachers were very not
Hesitant?
wanting to leave them there, is actually decently far. So it kind of explains like Matt and TK would not see each other very often because
Yeah.
of how far their parents actually live from each other. They don't live like in the same city. So
Yeah. Well, I
They're-
kind of
they're in
figured that from
completely
the fact they were
separate
taking
sections of the
trains.
continent.
yeah.
And like if they're falling asleep on the train, then clearly like they're on the train for a while.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which I googled that as well, and apparently this episode is considered super dated because of the train ride, because now there is a train that just goes straight from this area to where they live, Odaiba.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, because trains evolved. Like they
Yeah.
ain't your normal choo-choos.
Yeah.
They're fucking bullet trains now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
They get there
Well, it's
fast.
not just that they've put in new rails and new lines and everything.
Mhm.
There's even like
Different
a bunch
point
of,
A to point B quick.
yeah, there's also a bunch of
This is
lines about
something-
where they're trying to figure out how to do the train system, and they're like, I don't know how to read it. Izzy's the only one that can figure it out. That's not there in the subtitle because they all know how to read the train and how to work it. It's just a
Yeah.
train ride.
I love just how advanced fucking Japan is compared to the rest of the fucking planet.
Well, at least
It's really
technology-wise.
nice. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's
Technology-wise,
like they're
they
like
are.
10 years ahead of us.
Yeah, but they're like 5 years
Their
behind.
mentality is
Yeah,
yeah.
their mentality is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
decades behind. So
They've got good technology, but bad social shit.
yeah,
Yeah. It's like, as someone who's been to Japan, it's so intimidating, man.
mhm.
Mm.
But after watching stuff like in abroad in Japan and stuff, like they've actually come a long way. They're getting more acceptable with a lot of things.
It's not
Mhm.
even like them being more acceptable. It's that they're too acceptable of some things that they need to stop being acceptable of.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Uh, case in point, and I won't go much into this, but the fact that owning certain children's videos was still
Oh.
allowed up until 4 years ago.
Jesus.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
God damn! I thought that'd been outlawed a long time ago.
No.
Okay.
Making
Not
it
in
was
Japan,
outlawed.
yeah.
Making it was outlawed about like 10 years ago, but owning it you could still do up until about 4 or 5 years ago. Which is why it
Oh,
was
yeah,
like a
'cause I
big
remember this discussion, yeah.
yeah. There's a
Yeah,
certain
they're
Mhm.
mangaka.
definitely behind on some things.
There's a certain mangaka that got arrested for owning it right after that law was put in place, which is why I don't really hold a
Mhm.
lot of credence to people boycotting him, because he only broke the law by virtue of the fact that that was only made a law in the past year before he was charged with it. As shitty as it is, it's
I mean,
still
you jumped onto that ship. That's your funeral,
yeah.
buddy.
Anyways, any more notes on this episode?
I mean, we've only really just went through the field trip. We haven't even gotten through like Gatomon's tag nonsense,
I
like
think that's
how
in
Myotis.
that's in the next episode, isn't it?
No, I'm looking at the synopsis right now. It's like while all that field trip's going on, Gatomon's with a tag and crest looking for the 8th Digidestin that
Oh,
Myotismon sent
yeah.
out.
We do see a little bit of like the others, them scouring the city, but most of that's done in like the next episode. Because
What, you're hearing that too, Kane?
What happened?
Well, it sounds like there's a Beyblade on somebody's desk or somebody's
That's
just
I think it was
coming
coming
in.
from Kane's.
that's coming because
Yeah,
Kane's.
yeah. Hold on. There's some fucking guy revving a motorcycle or some shit.
No.
Uh,
I did
I'm
have a
like,
question
Kane?
about the Chris. How did Myodosmon get the Christ?
that will be disclosed at a later date.
Okay.
I want to know how this motherfucker made perfect replicas that will blink
Yeah,
when
that'll
near
start.
the child.
Listen, we don't
But,
even know how the tags and crest are made to begin with. I don't think that's ever explained.
Yeah.
That's fair. And it's like Mammothmon's battle is also kind of lackluster. It's like they're just fighting while everybody's having a fucking memory trip down memory lane.
Yeah. I will. I mean, it serves the point. If we had watched the pilot beforehand, I think it would have more impact. But also,
Yeah.
and Keja's not gonna really get into this because we are not watching Try yet, and we're not anywhere close to watching Try. But I like to
Oh, God,
use
no.
this fight and the kids' reaction to it as an example in parallel to one of the first fights that happened in this almost the same area of Try in the first movie when Tai
Mhm.
and them are freaking out because not even like spoiler. So in Try, of course, they're older. Tai sees a Digimon kind of wrecking shop in the city, and he starts hesitating because he starts realizing like people are in danger, people could get hurt if Agumon evolves. It will just cause more disasters and destroy the city more. And like he doesn't want to
Yeah.
evolve because he doesn't want to make it worse. Whereas in this one, they're just like, Digivolve, stop him, destroy more shit. Like, I like the contrast between this fight to that one, because I think that shows like the growth between the characters. So like when you say it's like lackluster, I'm like, my thought is like coming into this, I'm like looking from someone who's recently watched Try, or at least in the past 3 years, the fights that happen in the real world there versus the one that happens here, and then also the one that happens in the pilot movie. This is definitely very lackluster because it's not focused on the fight at all. It's focused on like their reactions to it.
And
it's like,
backstory and things like that, yeah.
man,
Yeah.
there's a mammoth and a giant Native American eagle fighting amongst themselves
Bruh.
right now, but we're gonna focus on the small children having a memory trip.
I mean, it is a very clever way to bring up this whole fight without them having to like. I mean, they still kind of have to exposition it a little bit, but without them having
Yeah.
to fully just like, oh yeah, remember this one time this giant dinosaur fought this parrot? Did y'all see that? Like, this is a very creative way to like get them all to remember it, have one of them mention it, and then they're all like, oh yeah, I do remember that. Like,
Yeah. But these
storytelling wise
series
is
of
brilliant.
episodes,
Mm-hmm.
like the episode before and then this one, it's very lore dumpy. I'm not
Yep.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
I
There's
told you it was
a lot
coming.
in the 2 episodes.
I told
Huh?
you it was coming.
Exposition.
Mm-hmm. Like, first couple arcs are very just like, here's a slight introduction to the world and the characters. Season 3 is just like, well, now we're gonna deep dive into all of it. Here you go. So
Yeah, that was my only notes. It was like, man, we only focus on the field trip section of this.
yeah.
There's a lot of other
Well,
shit going on in the background.
I think most of my notes regarding the hunt and everything are in the next episode because we see a lot more of them walking around in the next one, and then of course we see
Yeah,
them
very.
talking to Myotis-mon again.
I didn't have any notes for the next episode.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just I just completely phased out it.
Oh my
Other than
God.
one thing that happened because it was a very like WTF moment.
Oh my God.
It better be the Yokobon train moment, I swear.
No. That is a thing that I forgot about, but it's not that.
It's like half my notes. Alright. Episode 30, Almost Home Free. This part we get the kids on the train. They're working on their way to get back home after visiting Heighton View Terrace so they can they have a game plan. They're going to try and contact people that they knew lived in that area around the time they saw the Digimon fight to see if they can figure out who the Digidestined is. Shenanigans happened. A lot of censorship happens. It's
Oh,
wild.
Oh yeah, this is a weird censorship one.
It's a very obviously censorship one, but also
Oh.
I did find the original version of the main censored scene. I will show those that have not seen it after the episode. I don't want to play it during the episode, but just because it's all going to be in Japanese, just so y'all can see what we're talking about, because I know me and Kain are for sure going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's I guess we'll go on to them getting on to the train with the EU Child and the EU Child Part 2. Literally,
Hey, at least one of them's too young to know any better.
I'm sorry, the mother is not too young to know.
No,
any
the
better,
mother should have.
Yeah, the mother should have definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other boy needed a firm slap to the back of the head.
I mean, I would slap both of them on the back of the head, including the mother as well. So, yeah, all the kids are on a train. Well, after Tsunamon and Koromon almost get flattened by one because they think the train is an evil Digimon.
It's an evil Digimon. Let's fight it. No, that's a train. Get the fuck out of the way.
So all the Digimon are supposed to be behaving like stuffed animals. And Sora, in her one act of kindness and actual grace, it stands up to let a mother and her infant child sit down. Kudos for her for having basic human decency, I guess. And the small child grabs Yokomon's little antenna thing and starts pulling on it, and then when Sora asked her to stop, the small child begins to pull harder, and the mother is just like, oh no, you can't do that. Well, meanwhile, not doing anything.
Let go of the girl's toy.
Totally working for an infant. And then Yokomon flips shit and screams at the child, and Sora has to cover her ass by pretending to be a ventriloquist, and then small child number 2 is like, I want one, Dad. I demand you get me one right now or let me buy this one.
I will note right here, there's been a lot of decent voice acting to semi-decent voice acting. I swear to God, whoever was voicing Yokobon literally had their hair pulled when they screamed that guttural, "Can you let go of me, please?"
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was the most visceral, guttural
did that
scream I've heard
really
in the
well.
series.
Yeah. Just because I can't afford to see Sora even have a slight W for giving up her seat for a mother and her child, I have to point a shitty thing that was in the subtitle that was left out.
Oh no.
So there's a point in the dub where Sora's telling them to behave like dolls, and Yokomon is like, "Oh, I want to be one of those dolls that like cries," and begins to like fake cry or whatever. And Sora's just like, "Oh, don't do that." In the subtitle, Yoko is being clingy again and is just like kind of squirming around a little bit in her arms after she's been told to sit still, and it's just like, "Oh, Sora." And Sora snaps at her for being clingy.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor Yokomon.
Like, Yokomon's just trying to be a sweetheart. Yeah, she's not staying still, but bruh.
She
Look
just
out.
a baby.
Exactly.
I mean, on one hand, I can understand it. Like, they literally have living, breathing monsters in their laps, and no one's
Yeah.
gonna understand this. But at the same time, like, they don't know no better. They're
Mhm.
basically like you, and you crash land in their home.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, they don't know what a
There's
stuffed
probably
animal is.
instances where, like, Kawagamon was chasing their ass, and it's like, God, I wish these children would shut up.
Right.
It's kind of hard to hide from a giant insect when fucking child is screaming like,
That's fair. A translation problem that was in here, and I had to Google this one as well because I wasn't sure if it was a translation issue or if it was different areas. Because Izzy states in the dub that they need to get off at Nagano, and then I noticed in the dub that
It was
on
a
the
full
sun
name.
it was Nakano,
Yeah.
which is a different area.
Oh.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a completely different area. I would, because when I watched the subtitle, he does say Nakano, and then I was like, okay, is this just a translation thing? Nagano and Nakano are two very different areas. So,
Oh.
yep,
we love translation errors.
yeah. Too bad they didn't carry the translation area onto the sign as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At least be consistent.
Exactly. So they end up getting off on the wrong stop, and everyone's kind of
Because
hungry.
they all fell asleep.
Yeah, they all fell asleep, and poor Patamon or
Poor Patamon.
like, I'm gonna wake them, and then they're like, "No, be quiet. They told us we're not allowed to talk." And then like they wake up, we missed our stop. Patamon's like, "Yeah, y'all were sleeping. Why didn't you wake us?" Because you told us not
You
to
told
talk.
us not to speak. Oh.
Poor baby.
It's kind of a double-edged sword now, isn't it, asshole?
Mhm.
Yeah. So they all talk about how they want to get food because they've been late or whatever. But of course, they all only have enough money to take the train back home, and now they're even like more kind of shit out of luck. Because they're now in the wrong area that they needed to be. Joe and Izzy lose track of the others, and we get to see a few cameos of other Digimon potentially looking for the 8th child, running amok.
Yeah.
We got to see some familiar faces for some of us, and some interesting faces for others.
I liked the wizard. He's cute.
Digimon is so cool.
I love Wizardmon so much. And they end up meeting up with the others again, and they found them in a restaurant eating all their food. This is something that is slightly
McDonald's.
changed because Joe's mad that they spent all the money because they claim to have spent all the money and that they can't get back, which is true. But they've spent all their money, which means Joe and Izzy can still get food because they have their own money for their thing. In the subtitle, in the dub, they're like, "Oh yeah, we can't buy you anything else because we spent all the money." Joe's initially like yelling at them for spending all the money because now they're stuck and they can't get back. And in the middle of him yelling in the subtitle, his stomach growls, which is why he starts storming off embarrassed. He's just like, I'll just spend all my money off too. I guess I'm hungry too. My body wants to betray me.
Good job, body.
Yeah.
Just so angry because it's like, damn, you didn't even get them food as well. Like,
Uh-huh.
come on.
Right. But they have their own money, so they can do it. But
Yeah, I didn't realize that they all each individually had money.
yeah, they each
'Cause
have
that
enough
didn't
money for
seem
bus
like-
or train or
Yeah,
whatever.
that it didn't seem like that was what they were saying.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, we
Mhm.
spent all the money.
Yeah. In the
Oh,
dub, it's not
yeah.
done right.
Like the collective money.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is in the next section.
Yeah.
There are so many
Yeah.
questions.
Alright,
The
so
Hitchhiker's Guide.
So now we're on to the kids no longer can take the bus. So what do? Is they try to hitchhike a ride to home. Ty does a weird fucking dance. And this is going only in the dub. Ty does a weird little dance. Izzy and Joe pair up and do a weird little dance. Matt decides
And yell for a taxi.
Yeah.
And then don't have money for a taxi.
Matt shows up and does nothing and comes back embarrassed. And then
Wait, Matt comes up short?
Yeah.
I could have swore when I watched it last night, he had a fucking hottie in a freaking convertible.
So
He just
that's
walked
a
away.
that's a censored thing.
Oh.
Yeah. So in the dub or in the subtitle version, of course, normally Ty does his weird dance. It's fine. What's censored out? Matt and Izzy initially do the stereotypical hitchhiker's thumb up, and it doesn't work, and that's cut out for some reason. Then they do the weird dance, and a taxi comes up. They don't actually yell taxi, but a taxi does come up. And of course, dejected because they don't have money. Then Matt comes up. They give him all the dramatic angles while he puts his thumb up. And this woman pulls up in a convertible and is just like, come here, little boy. I give you a ride. And which he's blushing and walks back to the others, and they're like, why didn't you give her a ride? And he's just like, we wouldn't all fit in that car. And then Mimi and Sora come up, and in the dub, conveniently Sora's cousin shows up. In the sub, it's some dude trying to hit on Sora and Mimi.
Yeah.
God.
So it wasn't a convenient cousin showing up.
Nope.
No.
Or brother, whatever the friend.
Nope.
So
Not
here's
at
my
all.
question.
Why
So
would you
I
give
was
him a
watching the
vehicle?
dub. Literally, the fucking car that probably should have been censored was still in it, but they still played it off as him being the cousin.
So it is in the DVD version that I have. It was not in the Hulu version that we watched. So I'm assuming it was there for DVD release and not for television air. But then that still begs the question of why you got the extra 9/11 censorship.
So maybe in the re-airing they put that scene back in, but in the original they didn't.
Maybe.
They might have. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was watching this on like 9 anime.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of figured.
Nope, it's very much was censored out on the version that we had all watched together.
Yep.
So we still have 3 different perspectives regardless.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was, because I do know it's put back in the DVD thing. But again, like, you watch the extra censored version with the 9/11 version, so I'm like, yours isn't gonna have it in there either. So I'm surprised yours has the scummy lady.
Yeah, it definitely had the lady who was really wanting Matt in her car.
Yep. Yep. But yeah, they get a ride from not Sora's cousin, who I mean, even Sora's cousin is being super nice to only Mimi and Sora and is telling all the boys, like, y'all are just her luggage. Y'all are
You're just baggage.
Yeah. You're only here because I like them.
I just thought that her cousin was a prick.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a very convincing censor because I would have never considered it otherwise if I had not known already that this was censored.
Well,
Yeah, because
but
it's kind
even
of
still, it
taboo
was
in
very
our country to
convenient.
even
Yep.
be like that.
Like as I said that when we watched it, I was like, it's convenient that her cousin just rolled up.
Yep.
It makes more sense that it's just a random dude who let them hitchhike.
Uh-huh.
As much as
fuck?
gross as it is.
I'm glad I didn't
Yeah.
go deeper down that rabbit hole because that could have been a whole hodgepodge.
So
Whoa,
what?
I decided to like take a peek at like the dub version because like I think I like zoned out a little bit when the supposed scene of the lady coming to pick Matt up showed up,
Uh-huh.
and I found the dub version of it where they don't cut it out, and it sounds like they just cut her audio in.
Oh wow.
Like
Oh.
that does because like and there's no music going on when it happens, but when she talks, there's like you can hear the audio of the music playing,
Oh my god.
and then it cuts again.
Hold on, I
It's
actually want to
it's
pull it
really
back up.
jank.
I'm gonna pull it back up and
What
listen
the
to it
fuck?
again.
Here's the Japanese version in the chat.
Oh, it sounds like they put somebody else's voice line over that. Actually,
Oh, fuck.
that's weird.
I managed to click right on the perfect spot too.
Oh my god.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's I understand the need for both
Yeah.
sentences.
Right.
So
Yup.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
They cut
gonna
the
be late
audio
for
to, like,
school.
yeah, be late for school. That's so weird.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. That's so uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
So while they're riding in Sora's cousin's
shame.
van,
That's crazy.
we finally get the closest admission to that Digimon poop as we're ever going to get in the series, because Koromon just takes a big old dump in the middle of the seat.
Yeah.
And while they don't express that it is poop, he is very unhappy with it. So,
Mm-hmm.
they get Sora's cousin basically tries to murder Izzy and possibly Jump as well.
Kills Izzy
Yeah.
in cold blood.
He just yeets Izzy off the bridge. Thankfully, Tentomon saves him just as Gesomon shows up. And there's yet another fight of Gesso, by the way, meaning squid legs.
Oh my God.
And we finally get to see Gomamon have a fight in water in like an even fight, I guess, with Gesomon.
Oh, yes, even fight. Totally doesn't eviscerate that thing's tentacle with one missile.
Yeah.
And they float away on Ikakumon's back home because why hide the Digimon anymore? We'll just
Yeah.
ride them. It's fine.
Just like now we're on a
We've come
boat.
this
Let's
far.
go.
But anything else on this episode?
What a weird episode.
Yeah.
These last 5 episodes have been very predatory, and I don't like it.
I do not envy the team that had to make the changes to the dub to try and figure out how the hell they were gonna make this work.
Oh my god. Yo.
Guys, how do we make this not creepy? It's like we can. Just
I
cut a bunch of
mean-
audio.
We'll try.
I think they have an easier time with being able to just cut complete scenes out than Yu-Gi-Oh had trying to cut out specifically just a gun being held at somebody's head while keeping the scene in. So we're just gonna hold our hands up to your head at weird angles.
I'm gonna hold my pointer finger up to your head.
Mr. Kai, but Mr. Pegasus would like to see
but
you. This isn't
that
an
takes
option.
away from how cool that whole scene was as a whole.
So yeah, I think they had an easier time of like, we'll just cut these like 30 seconds. It's fine. That doesn't have to happen. Because obviously the dubcast had a fun time with with dubbing overall because they enjoyed all the like the sarcastic jokes they threw in out of fucking nowhere.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Oh, that's the Japanese name for that Digimon. Okay.
For which one?
Episode 38. I'm going through the list to see what we're gonna be tackling next, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're probably gonna
Oh,
be doing
yeah.
these. And I scrolled down a little bit more, and it's like, what? Who the fuck is that?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So next, any last episode or comments on these last episodes?
Not really. Just how
I-
shitty human beings are in these
I
episodes.
love you, Wizardmon.
Oh my god.
He's so cool.
Alright. Favorite
Wizardmon, the only good evil Digimon.
favorite mons or evolutions from these batch of episodes?
Gatomon.
Got him on.
Wizardmon.
Wizardmon hasn't been introduced yet.
Oh
He's
shit, Gatomon.
Technically, he has been introduced as
He's
a
been
cameo.
shown.
He's been
You just don't know his
shown.
name yet.
Yeah. It's not an introduction till we know his name officially.
Damn.
So don't worry.
No,
We'll get him next
I love
episode.
Gatomon. That's my literal favorite partner Digimon aside from Palmon.
Fair.
Mhm.
She's so cute. I love her. And sassy. She's
Oh my god.
She
great.
wags
I
her
love
tail
her.
sassily at you while smacking you with the ring.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
love
forgot
it.
to mention that during the 30th episode, she fucking uses the tail ring to smack a fucking dog.
Oh yeah, I do. I was
Oh,
wondering why I had
yeah.
poor puppy written down. I was like, I don't know what this is for. I'm just gonna ignore it.
Yeah, Mom saw
Aw.
a cat started chasing after it, and she's like, "Nah, bitch!" And tail
Oh
smack.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a baby.
Got him on Dookie
I'm
great.
sitting here, damn, good job, Gatomon. You took a eye for all cats everywhere being chased up a tree by a dumb dog.
Honestly, yeah. All right. So our next batch of episodes is going to be episodes 40 through 44, which is only 4 episodes. It is going to be our only well, no, it's going to be it's our only short batch. And it was-
31 to 34?
No, I'm
31 to
sorry.
30 or
36
31
to
34.
39. My bad. 36 to
Wait,
Huh?
what's happening?
That's a completely different thing. Hold on.
I'm looking at the pinned message I have in the chat, and I'm like, my god. 30
You're off by like 10 episodes, mate.
I'm off by like 4 episodes. Don't even.
Yeah, she said 40 to 44, so we're doing 36 to 39.
Yeah, 36 to 39. 4 episodes. I was thinking like 4 episodes, so I saw the 4s, and I was like, oh yeah, that one. 36 to 39. 4 episodes, because a lot happens in these 4 episodes. So
You're still high, Cyan. We're on episode
No,
31.
Wait, are we?
are we?
Yes. Let me. I'm just
Almost Home Free was the last one we
Oh
watched.
my god.
Motherfucker, look at this. Look at my page real quick.
Oh.
Can you not post spoilers? Where Keja can
It's
see
okay, I
this?
didn't read it.
I'll delete it. I'll delete it real quick, but I want you to see, like, we are not there yet.
Listen! All y'all gotta do is correct me. Don't be an asshole about it. 31 to 35. Happy? My god.
I don't feel like I'm having Alzheimer's now.
Oh,
Damn. Alright. Chill. We'll cover those in the next session. If y'all want to catch up, y'all watch them with us. If y'all just want to listen to our commentary, y'all go right ahead. Keja, where can I find you?
I stream on Twitch at KJames13.
Kain, where can they find you?
you can find me on Twitter and just Twitch at punished_Kain.
Zeta, where can they find you?
On Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok under Zeta Sapphire.
And I am Cyan Kincaid. If you want to find any information regarding this podcast or the other podcasts I run, go to RiceCon Podcast on Twitter, or you can look up us on YouTube. And Digimon Conflict is on Spotify. It's on Spotify. It's not on the RiceCon podcast. So, catch y'all next week. Bye.